What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and I'm back with the blazing Toku Moviethon. And with me again is another guest, or I guess one of my frequent co-hosts of both Toku Brew podcast and reoccurring guest from this year from the O's episode.
I'm Stormi.
So yeah, here we are again. But this time we're not discussing a movie that, made you depressed.
Yeah, and I'm also not traumatizing Bellerock. Yet.
He hissed last time I told him. I asked him what happened. He just hissed, and then I'm just glad he didn't shoot any lasers.
Yeah.
Moving along with that, but this week, as you heard, is Godzilla vs. Mothra.
Yeah.
And we are big Godzilla and Mothra fans, obviously.
Love my Mothra.
Weirdly, don't have many Mothras.
Yeah, I got
many
one.
Moths.
I got one. I have a Mothra, face mask, but...
Yep,
like
and with us
enough.
is Bobby, drinking
Bobby!
out... I don't know if he's being stubborn right now.
Yeah,
if he's not drinking...
a little finicky. Hopefully we'll get him going by the end of this.
Maybe he will, maybe he won't, but he is drinking out of a King Ghidorah shot glass in a Mothra shot glass.
On top
I don't know
Mentos.
I don't know why I'm explaining what we have on this table. It really doesn't matter.
And many Godzillas. We have lots of Godzillas.
But this week, as I said, is Godzilla vs. Mothra, and it is a Showa era film. Or at least this was the first time Godzilla and Mothra fought, and I usually try to put screenshots. This episode, I feel like, really doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Unless there's something we unintentionally point out very specifically.
But... Like, Godzilla is definitely an older suit, but this is an older movie. This is the first movie after Godzilla vs. Kong, so I think the fourth movie overall. Fourth?
Really? That early on?
Yeah, it was fairly early on. Mothra had already happened, obviously. And I think this movie was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like it's always up there in lists of everyone liking Godzilla vs. Mothra.
I definitely see why. I will admit, first part dragged a little bit.
Yeah, the dude just being like, I'm gonna build Disneyland with an egg!
Yeah, not to say that the concept isn't incredibly bananas and awesome. They're basically we found a giant egg, let's make Disneyland around it.
And Mothra's fairies, the cosmos, whatever they're called.
They had cute little mushroom hats in this.
Were just being hey, can you just give us back the eggs? Because once that Mothra hatches, it's gonna go hungry and destroy everything, but then return home.
Yeah, we think this is for your benefit. I think it was really funny because, they did come to Japan and were like, please return the egg, and, saying why and everything. And then they met some other people that were journalists and, taking pictures and writing news articles.
Yeah.
And after it's okay, they tried to help out and they tried to talk to them and rationalize why it's a terrible idea, and then they just left. They're just whatever. They'll reap what they sow. Peace out. Bye.
Yep. And it's I guess we're out of here.
Okay, I guess they're just gone now.
Yeah, and the characters were interesting enough. Nothing deep characters. I don't remember any of their names. There wasn't
anything significant.
There was
really
photographer girl, generic heroic dude,
and scientist.
And scientist. But
they weren't bad characters.
Yeah,
they just
the villains were
rounded.
over the top rich people though.
Yeah, they're also pretty sexist against
the
women. Photographer.
Yeah, but that's also
women,
that's also the early 60s and 70s though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Ugh. Yeesh. But yeah, no. What do you have to say about? It's obviously these are the more iconic versions because this is still not. It's definitely not Gojira Godzilla suit, but it's not the ones that we were talking about earlier from the Megalon and Mecha Godzilla movies. It's definitely its own suit, and we were talking when in this movie Godzilla just seemed like he was drunk.
Yeah,
he was just stumbling around.
Because he was just literally getting stuck in stuff and tripping. He was the opposite of graceful. Just stumbling constantly, an absolute klutz. I was like, what the hell? Is this guy just freaking drunk? And then it just continued on throughout the entire movie, and it just made it even more hilarious. Just
Also,
being like, yeah, he's
we
just
are
drunk.
getting into spoilers
Yeah.
for this probably 50 to 40-year-old movie.
Even
You
then-
had your time.
Even then, it's like the plot isn't even really anything significant. It's basically like what we just said. That's in like the first like third of the movie.
That's the whole movie.
That's pretty much just kind of the plot, and the rest is just
Let's
kind of
just
payoff,
give back
which
the
is
egg,
fine.
or like, oh, how are we gonna deal with this egg? When is this egg gonna hatch? They're now trying to hatch the egg faster.
Why?
Oh
I
no!
don't know.
And then Godzilla shows up and messes everything else
Yeah.
up. Like once Godzilla enters the fray, the movies go like that's when it starts sprinting.
I think they like briefly mentioned that it's like, oh, they like dammed off a piece of like the ocean and pushed all the water back, and Godzilla was just chilling under the sand, and he woke up from his fucking dirt nap being like, where'd all the water go? And he
Yeah,
looked
and then
all
he just
dirty.
drunkenly stumbled everywhere, but not before Mothra.
Mhm.
Like, also, how do you feel about this Mothra? Very much earlier Mothra puppets, like not the cutest.
She fluffy. I always love the fluffy Mothras. Like,
Yeah, go
I
fluffy or
mean-
broke.
But it's like I kind of love. How do I explain this? Because they explain in the movie that she's basically near the very end of her
Yeah,
life.
she's near the end of
She's
her
very
life.
old, and I
She's
think
just
it
gonna
was,
sit on a rock.
yeah, that she was just gonna chill on a rock until she died.
The
But then it's just
sacred
like-
rock.
The sacred rock. It's a special rock. But
It's not just any rock, okay?
But and the thing is, she looks like she's just old and scrappy, like one of those like street cats that have like just been in a couple too many
Riff raff.
fights. Street moth.
Oh,
I don't know. I was gonna say something cough, but I'm just like I'm gonna stop there.
but like,
But yeah, it just kind of looked like it thought it was funny. That she just kind of looked like an old scrappy cat.
yeah, she was a little rough.
And I mean, there's not that much really to say.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, yeah, it's like, oh, they went to the island to ask for help, even though it's like, I'm sorry we couldn't help you. I
And
know
like the
we,
people
like,
are super
nuked
distrusting.
Your home and
Yeah.
made it a desolate.
There was a skeleton
wasteland.
though.
There was a couple skeletons. Yeah, I like bobbed its head for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cute.
Um.
And yeah, they go to like the
Like,
island.
yeah, like
to
the
ask for
island and the
help.
natives are like, You already
No.
fucked up our
You nuked
island.
us. We don't trust you.
It's like, yeah, and like that's really much like the thing in like the whole message it feels like for the movie is like we need to learn to trust people more.
Yeah, building that mutual
And, you know,
trust. Not new
We've
things.
definitely still not even close. Like it reminds me
We've
of that
learned this
episode.
lesson, right? We definitely don't need to learn it again and again and again, forever. Still haven't learned it. Okay then.
It's like that one episode
Author
with the
just has to come and slap you.
yeah, with the Metron from Ultra 7 where it was like the smoking and you were like, "Oh, it's going to be a smoking episode." And it's like, "No, it's aliens trying to take against our trust in humanity. But we don't have to worry because we're not even close to that." And I'm just like, "You know what sucks is I'm nearly
When
50 years
for your benefit.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm nearly 50 years apart from this show and we're still nowhere close to that."
What? Trusting blindly? Of course not. We're just gonna blow them up before
But
we
yeah,
trust them.
But no, the fights were really fun. Like
Oh, this was again. I was really dragging through the like first third half of this movie, but man, once it
Like,
took
yeah.
off, it took off, and it was awesome. This is great. This is probably one of my favorites, actually.
especially with the show era.
Oh yeah, like this was some really good stuff. Again, Godzilla
Like-
just being drunk and Mothra just being a scrappy old woman.
She
It
was
was
like,
so
"I got
funny.
you. You're gonna be in my circle of death."
Yeah, this is my circle of death. But oh my god, especially the points where she would just literally just latch onto him and just start slapping him with her wings.
When she just
or
bit
like,
his tail and just.
Oh no, that's the babies.
Oh, you're right. That was the larva.
But yeah, or like when she was literally just like scratching his face again, like just an old street cat, just like coming for his face and everything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it was so
No.
good.
It was a ton of fun.
It was so
But, like,
fun.
Then like, obviously, I don't know why Godzilla movies like doing this, but so the ending scene between Godzilla and Mothra dies,
I mean, yeah, again, they said like, oh, she's at
protecting
the end of
her egg.
If she goes and helps you.
That's
By the way, they
it.
got the help from Mothra. If you couldn't tell, Mothra was like, okay, I'll help. Because they're like, if she leaves, she's not gonna be able to come back. She's that.
She was
old.
just trying to
She's
kick
that
up her
done.
feet on her fucking lazy boy, chilling
Her
out
lazy
on her
boy
rock. Just,
waiting for the baby to hatch. And
How did that egg get in the ocean?
How did that mudslide? They said it was a mudslide.
Oh.
Because it like buried the egg at first, and then eventually like made its way into the ocean.
Oh. Okay.
Well, you're not paying attention to this thick and complicated plot. but yeah, and then Mothra dies, and the egg hatches.
But it has this epic shot. But it had that really great shot of Mothra's wing under the egg. It's a really good shot.
I almost kind of want to like paint that.
Like, yeah, it looked like it's like I feel like I've seen that referenced a lot in like artworks and everything. It's a good shot.
It's one of those where it's like,
but
absolutely
the art on this is pretty good too, though.
That is a really nice piece of art. I really like.
I just like it.
She looked. By the way, she kind of looked like this, but imagine way less conditioned. Like,
wait, she didn't. She skipped conditioner day.
Oh yeah, she ran out like a month ago, and she hasn't bought anymore.
But yeah, no, it was a ton of fun.
Soap.
But yeah, no, so it's pretty much that. And then after Godzilla just like decides, because he was trying to kill the egg, and that's why Mothra was just like, my circle of death, and then dies. But I like how Godzilla just leaves. He's just like, I guess I'll just go to this building.
Fine.
Yeah, and then like they spring their trap, and Godzilla just looks more like inconvenienced, like fucking what?
And he's a villain in this, by the way.
Yeah, he's the villain.
Weirdly, that's like
it's so funny.
Not as common as him being a hero now. He's either like neutral or a hero, but in this one, he's a straight villain. He's just like wreaking havoc.
Yeah, like Mothra is the good monster in this one. Well, she dies.
Yeah, she dies.
But so then the rest of the movie is just like him terrorizing like the cities and everything. But like the rich people like start betraying each other. Like the one guy starts like he's like, I ran out of money, and started fist fighting him for the safe. And then and then he loads up his jacket. But then he gets shot.
Coats on, by the way, he had like 2 or 3 coats on. He's like, how fucking cold is it?
One jacket's to store your money.
Obviously. Yeah, I used it almost like one of those like rucksacks that you throw over your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the other guy just freaking straight up shoots him in the head.
And then gets crushed under rubble.
It was nuts. Eat the rich, or I guess let them eat themselves, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So, the egg hatches.
So yeah, then the egg hatches,
and 2 little poo dudes come out. I swear, every time I see a freaking Mothra movie with
a Mothra larva.
With a Mothra larva, they look more and more poo-like every time I see them. These ones were like extra shiny and lumpy, and I'm just like, those are just pieces of shit. Like, literally.
Yeah, and how did 2 of them fit in that egg?
Again, that was like the one thing you kept mentioning, that just, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, the giant fire-breathing lizard and the moth with death pollen, that's like the size of it, like, what, at least a school bus, and it's like, but the fact that, 2 larvae came out of that egg because they look just too big, now that's where I call bullshit. I'm just like, sure.
Do you...
Sure.
Sure. But, man, by the way, how would you rank, Mothra deaths? Like,
honestly, the one where she just tragically drowned and died.
Oh yeah, that was the first. That's
my top. That one was pretty.
That was the first Moviethon episode. Was that Mothra movie?
That was both tragic and hilarious. I watched
just watching your mom drown. The scene.
Yeah, just like, I forgot you can't swim when you're not a larva. just slowly drowns, and then
until you get
screaming and thrashing. Again, tragic but weirdly hilarious.
It was the saddest but funniest shit all at the same time.
Yeah, and these babies came out, they woke up and just chose violence.
They're like, you killed my mom, I'm killing you.
Yeah, I remember there's one specific moment where, like, the baby was just, like, looking at its tail.
Godzilla's tail,
and I was just like, please bite the tail and then just get flung around the place. Please let that happen. And then it did.
We had to rewind it.
I had to rewind. It was so funny because fucking just chomp, and then fucking it's just like, just like fucking eating this baby everywhere.
That's just how the scene went, and we were so happy.
Annihilated the guy with silly string. Like,
yeah, like seriously, it's like when you see those scenes in like high school movies or something, and like they get somebody with silly string to the point where it cocoons them. That's literally what the Mothra larvae were doing. They're like, yeah.
And then I shit you not, like after and it's like at least like a solid minute of them just like
silly stringing it up. Yeah, they were like fucking like crossfiring it. They're like.
And then every once in a while, like, Godzilla would, like, throw rocks at them and just, like, ow! Like,
Yeah, and or they would dodge it. They're like, that's why we're behind these rocks.
and then he gets, like, completely encased in this. And then he, like, gives up and he, like, falls into the water. Ocean.
The end.
The poo babies just wiggle their way into the water and go back. We don't even
go back
see
to the
moth
infinite.
forms.
Yeah, they don't even turn into moths.
Island, and it ends.
Yeah.
And the classic, like, oh, it's the sun is setting and the kaiju are going into the sunset and they're waving goodbye.
No credits, just the end.
Just the end. It's like, okay. And you know what? It was so much fun.
It was a ton of fun.
I would absolutely rewatch
like this is one of
I would rewatch this anytime. I'd maybe fast forward through some of the first stuff, but like I would absolutely rewatch
only the weak fast forward.
Whoever said I was strong.
I think you're strong. Okay.
Boop.
Hey.
Gotcha.
But this is one of those Godzilla movies that I think is essential.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, there are very few Godzilla movies I think are essential, but, like, if you are a Godzilla fan and you have not watched Godzilla vs. Mothra...
This is a great one.
Like,
absolutely.
This was not my first time watching this. Actually, I watched this...
First time.
I had a teacher who just put on Godzilla movies. Like, we watched Godzilla vs. the Astro Monster.
He was a cool guy. I remember him.
Yeah, and, like, we watched Godzilla vs. Mothra, so it's like, I remember this movie, and I was just like, yeah, this is a fun time. Like, this is an entertaining movie.
Like, this, like, again, a lot of the Showa ones I'm only kind of on. I feel, again,
well, it doesn't help that Terror of Mechagodzilla was kind of bad.
Yeah, it's like some of them are kind of bad, some of them are a little slow, but it's like, this one was just straight fun. Again, like, the first part dragged, like, a lot of early Showa.
It's not a real Godzilla movie if there's not a little bit of a drag.
Yeah, it's just, oh, man, once it hits that one certain point, it just takes off, though.
Yeah, it's a fun time. Like,
so good.
Like, one of those movies, like, high recommend. Just go watch it. You'll have a fun time. And if it's your first Showa movie, it's not a bad one to start on.
This is a good one. Like, yeah, again, like, especially if you feel like, oh, the Showa one's kind of drag for me. I don't know if they're, like, my thing. This one is one of the ones that you should watch. This is one of the good ones.
Yeah. I definitely like it more than Godzilla versus Mothra Battle for Earth. That was the Heisei one. I think I like this one way more. Was that the one with the
traumatic drowning scene?
No, that was Rebirth of Mothra.
Okay, I was about to be like, I remember that.
No, that was the one with Batra in it.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed. I wish Batra... I want a Mothra movie with Batra and Mothra in it. No Godzilla, just Batra versus Mothra.
Duking it out.
Well, yeah, that or them having to team up to a greater threat.
Fight. I mean, is Batra a bat or is he a moth?
He's a moth.
Why is he named Batra?
Because Japanese word of some sort.
It's a moth that looks like a bat, so his name is Batra. Get over it.
Maybe that actually is it, but...
Who knows? Who cares?
But
it's
yeah,
cool.
no. But no.
It's a goth Mothra. Who doesn't want a goth Mothra?
Gothra.
Now, there's your movie. Now, there's your name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, obviously you got to have the iconic Mothra song.
Oh, yeah, and this was really, really good.
I liked it.
Weirdly, like, I'm used to, like, there being almost, like,
a background track
music to it, but, like, with just, like, the two actresses, it was two actresses, right?
Yes.
Okay, sometimes they just copy one person. They again, their voices went so good together. Like, they were just on point every single time that they had to, like, talk together or... like, sing together. It was, like, just seamless. So good.
Whether it been through editing or through actual talent,
oh my gosh.
It was good.
Oh my gosh. So some of the effects were not meant to be seen in HD, though.
Oh yeah, you could see Mothra on her strings.
There were the strings. And, like, some of the blue screen, green screen, whatever they used, wasn't quite... Like, again, like, this was probably meant to be on VHS tape quality, so I can't judge it that hard.
We probably were looking at it a nicer quality than it played at the theaters when it was originally released.
Isn't that a crazy thought?
We're watching it in HD!
Yeah, but it's like, I get it. It's still, a lot of them still look good,
though. It looks good.
Like, with the Cosmos, like, almost like this, like, flickering, like, almost in and out of existence kind of fits with them because they're so, like, ethereal.
Yeah.
Or, like...
There were so many times where they would just disappear and just be like, hey, we're here. We're riding the larva home. Bye!
Yeah, they had, like, these two little dolls that they would use sometimes in different shots. And, again, like, was this the one where there was, like, a bunch of water spewing out because they were trying to drain the ocean to build the dam? And, like, we, like, couldn't tell if there were actually water coming out or not. Like, if they had actually, like, used an effect. Or is that a different movie?
I think that was this one.
I think that was this
Well,
one.
no, I think we couldn't tell if it was a
Either
miniature
way,
or
it's
not.
like, even though you could tell it's aged, it was still good. Like, it
Yeah.
was like, wow, I could see that, you know, like, if I were in the theater when this came out, I would probably be super freaking impressed.
Yeah.
And even now, it's like, with all the technology that we do have, I'm still kind of impressed.
Oh, yeah, it's like they still did it.
Again, this very
It's
nice movie.
Like,
Very nice
everything
movie.
in that movie you could touch.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Except for maybe Mothra. She looks a little sticky in this one.
I'm not saying it would be pleasant to
You're like,
touch
"Ah,
everything.
leave me alone!
But yeah, no, this was a highly
Oh
recommend.
my god, I forgot! Right before she died, like, I made the joke because she just kind of, like, fell over and started flopping
Oh,
on the
yes,
ground.
he had a
It's
seizure.
just like, because Godzilla is over there drunk, flopping around, wondering what's going on. She's over there just like, seizure, help!
Why are none of you calling the ambulance?
And then she just, like, hurls her over her egg and dies.
Yep, and
I
is
can't believe I
just
almost
dead.
forgot about her just, like, flopping on the ground and just being like, ah!
That was
It
hilarious.
was so funny.
10 out of 10.
So good. Again, this is such a fun one, man. So
Yeah.
good.
But yeah, high recommend. I think from both of us.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Um,
This is one of the really good show ones.
Yeah, I just thought I would bring you in on Mothra.
Love Mothra.
You know.
She's my girl. I wanted her for Halloween one year.
That's right.
And he wanted Godzilla.
Yes, I did.
It was funny. You couldn't tell what he was until he turned sideways. You could see the dorsal plates.
Hey, it was otherwise impressive costume.
Yeah, and then I had big wings. It was fun.
But I think that's all we have for this movie. Thank you so much for watching. Have you guys watched Godzilla vs. Mothra? What is your favorite of the personal fights between Godzilla versus Mothra? And what's your favorite version of Mothra? You know what? Ask you a ton of questions before you leave. Put them down in the comments. You know, feel
Tell
free
us
to
all
leave
the
your
Mothra
thoughts.
things.
Yeah, what's your favorite Mothra? What's your favorite of the Mothra looks?
Ooh, just like the classic, really fluffy, like.
So,
bright
like, I feel like
color one.
Heisei Mothra
Like
is what
really,
you're meaning.
I think like early Heisei, like the first couple ones that we saw.
Like the one that I was
just
talking about, where it's like that was the
iconic.
perfect Mothra, or like the one
Oh,
that was
yeah.
in Rebirth of Mothra, where it's like it was that orange, fluffy, very clean Mothra.
Just so I want a plush of her so bad. If you couldn't tell.
But yeah, no,
Oh, so good.
I would say
He looks
personally,
soft.
personally, one of my
like to
favorites
touch
is honestly Leo. Leo is a pretty good one. That's the Rebirth
That's
of
also a
Mothra
really
one.
good
That's a
one.
good one.
I like probably one of the newer ones in like the 2000 and was it 18, 19?
Oh, the King of the Monsters.
Yeah, what year was that?
2019, 2018. One of
I
those.
like that one, but for completely different reasons.
I wish he was more fluffy though.
Exactly. I like the fluff way more. Way more fluff, please. Give me a fluffy Mothra, please.
More
I
fluff,
will buy your
please.
toys. I will buy your toys. I will buy your plushes. Fluffy Mothra, please.
But
Please and thank you.
peas and carrots.
Peas and carrots.
But I think that's all. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you for having me here. I had so much fun.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's always a fun time, but that's why we do the podcast week to week. And, you know, it's more fun to talk about movies, not by yourself. So,
Yeah.
leave your thoughts down in the comments, and take it away, Belrock!
Next week's movie is, well, I don't know, because he didn't tell me, and he left me a note covered in ooze. It's gross. I don't know why. Bye.